Auto insurance is a special case when it comes to the market, because unlike most products and services, the drivers in the state of Michigan are required by law to purchase insurance. That creates a special obligation on the legislature and the regulators to make sure the insurance industry is held to account. Unfortunately, the politicians, the regulators, have not been strong enough in terms of standing up to the insurance companies. And that's one of the things that we really need to see if we're going to see lower rates and fairer pricing. We need the regulators to haul the insurance companies in, go through their books, look at their pricing practices, and make sure that they're fair. What they'll find is that they're not. I've studied the Michigan auto insurance market for a long time, and I can tell you that the pricing in this market is not fair. And the regulators have not been strong enough to make sure that the insurance companies treat us in the way that we deserve to be treated. And so the first thing that has to happen is that the legislature and the regulators have to get the guts to stand up to the insurance companies. Too often, they've deferred to the lobbyists in Lansing who demand that the insurance companies get whatever they want. And if we're going to see fairness and affordability in our market, we're going to see regulators who are willing to stand up to the insurance companies. And so we could start with that. But we also need the legislature to do better job of protecting us against the kind of unfair discrimination we see in the market, like the way the insurance companies punish good drivers just because they have lower credit scores, or because of the penalties that they put on people who had been uninsured and come back into the market and they face hundreds upon hundreds of dollars more just because they had a break in their coverage, even if they didn't have a crash or any tickets on their record. So we could see reforms in the insurance market that would make prices fairer and more affordable throughout the state. And the good news is that when you actually get rid of the discriminatory pricing and make it more affordable, especially for people in Detroit to get into the market, then we have a bigger pool of premium dollars coming in. When we have more people in the pool, we all pay less. But the way the legislature and the regulators have allowed the insurance companies to slice and dice and price us the way they want to, well, that has left Michigan with one of the highest uninsured motorist rates in the country. And what that means is that those who are in the market end up paying more. We want everybody in the insurance market, not just because it makes our roads safer because we have our claims paid when there are damages, but also because it makes our premiums lower. So we need to be thinking about reforms that don't just protect the insurance company. We need to think about reforms that improve the market and improve access to everyone. And then we have to make sure that when we do have claims, when people are injured in crashes, that there's a system of care in place and that there are the resources in place to pay for the care that's supposed to be in our contract. When insurance companies sell us policies, they promise a whole set of things, including the care we need if there's a bad crash. But over the years, the politicians in Lansing and the insurance companies have teamed up to cut back on that care. So we want to make sure that we get what we pay for. And that's going to require improvements from the legislature and better behavior from the insurance companies. Over the years, a lot of the so-called reforms to the auto no-fault system have been shouldered by consumers themselves, as though we were the problem and the insurance industry just needed us to be reformed in order to create savings. Well, look at your insurance premium. You know those savings haven't come. It's time that we flip the script a little bit and reform the insurance companies themselves. It's their behavior, it's their pricing, it's their excess profits that are driving so much pain in the Michigan auto insurance market. So if we're going to look for ways to create savings, of course consumers can shop around, we can do a little bit of that. But the legislature, the folks who make us buy insurance, who require it by law, they have to take responsibility for standing up to the lobbyists in Lansing from the insurance industry who are constantly demanding that all of the reform be shouldered by the consumer and none of it by the insurer. We need to change that.